Live, local. This is Fox 12 Now.
Welcome back to Fox 12 Now. Thank you for joining us. We are live streaming here out of the Fox 12 Oregon newsroom. We're here every weekday starting 1 p.m. We go throughout the afternoon and we cover a wide range of topics and get to have some longer form discussions about some of those. Right now, we're going to be talking about something that's probably not a huge surprise for everyone, that we are dealing with a severe water shortage already. A drought emergency being declared for Baker County, Deschutes County, Umatilla County on the eastern side of the state. And we were just talking about how Mount Hood is very well depleted. That's the same with pretty much every mountain in this area and region. I mean, across the entire state. But yeah, already a drought emergency. We're not even to April. We're still technically in March and this has happened. So we want to find out more about what that means and really what's happening out there. And to talk about Baker County specifically, joining us right now, we have Jason. And Jason, thanks for being here from Baker County Emergency Management. I want to talk about the drought. I think to start off, would you mind just letting us know a little bit about maybe Baker County Emergency Management and what kinds of things that you handle out there?
I think that really depends on the day. A lot of times, what comes my way. For instance, this email just probably about 1:30 that I received that, hey, would you be able to jump on this with you? And so we deal with pretty much all natural disasters out here a lot of the times, and we do quite a bit of planning with local events that happen here, and just to make sure all our first responders are on that same page.
And I would imagine, I mean, I know over the last year or so, there was concerns about all kinds of things that have been happening out there. I mean, that's the same across the entire state, but I bet that really does. Day to day changes a lot. With this emergency drought declaration, can you tell us, why this is being declared and what that actually means for Baker County?
Sure. Usually we don't declare this early in the process. Due to our elevation, we get some snow, we hold on to that snow, and it will be later that we kind of find out, because we get a lot of snow late into March. Like now, we would be getting our real wet, heavy snow, and that really helps us get us through sometimes. However, earlier this year in February, we had a couple landowners that were doing some burns, just cleaning up their properties, which is great, and that's the right time to do it. It actually got away from them. And so we had to send resources out in February, which I can't ever remember happening. And this is in the old Cornet Windy burn that burned in 2015 here in Baker County. So at least there wasn't a lot of stuff there for it to burn. And we kept it within probably about a half acre in size, was the larger of the two. But I also do snow measurements. So I started that in emergency management, and our local water resources department has helped me with that continue. And I actually sent you some pictures here of a couple of sites. But that little out site. Oh,
I'll grab those here right now. So
okay.
I've got this one right here.
So that site right there is called Little Alps. And I only remember once maybe doing what they call a bulk sample. And that's where you take, at that site, we have 5 measurement spots. And so we have to take that, and then that's when the snow is under a foot. And so we dump it all into a bag and weigh and measure it and that type of stuff to determine. But I have never seen that site free of snow at this time in the year. So that was way early. That, like I said, that was done today by our water master's office here locally. And then that's our little Antone site. That site has in the past, not very often, been snow free by now. But that was earlier in this year. I got to go up skiing and went by the site, and I couldn't believe that it was already snow free this early in our year. So that's when I knew we were kind of looking at some potential. And so why we declare the drought so in Baker is our producers, our ag producers, called cattle ranchers and those type of things. It allows them to access those resources they need. A lot of them, did preparations in the fall for their plants and the, crops and stuff like that. Well, this allows them to move that water to where they need that water to be, as much as water as we can. I'd like to say I wish when we do a drought declaration, it's kind of like washing your car sometimes. All of a sudden the rain comes. But I don't think that's going to be the case for us this year. But it does allow them into those work the water resources to move that water where they need to, really.
That's coming from reservoirs, I would imagine.
Well, no, it allows them to, if they have a field that has so many what am I thinking? The irrigation rights. They might
Okay.
say, hey, I need the water all over all my property. I have so much water that I can put on it, but I need to centralize it in this one location just so I can make at least this one crop work for me.
Gotcha.
And so and then it shortens some of the times and reduces some of the fees through the Water Resources Department.
Gotcha. So they can get those faucets turned on essentially, to really simplify it, yeah, and get that irrigation out there for what they need. And so, with that being said, since this is so early, and just even it's shocking seeing how little snow there was there, since you said that that's normally covered, and you're normally getting potentially a lot of snow right now. Is this going to leave you enough water when it comes to some of that wildfire management and things that are going to be going on later on, potentially this year? When it comes down to that, is there a big concern about that?
Oh, definitely. We had a very large fire season in 2024 with that Durkee fire, one of the largest in the nation.
Yep.
And last year, I think some of those fires that we had last year should have really took off at times, the wind and stuff, but we must have had the fuel moisture just right. And that it will depend on how the storms come through right now. Like I said, in February, we had stuff getting away. Right now, we've had some little storms coming through, and that helps get that fuel moisture in those fine fuels that, are flashy. And then when a fire hits them, they like to take off. What's not going to help is those dead, larger diameter down fuels like dead logs and stuff. They're not going to have the moisture that they've had in the past. So if they get caught, they're the ones that really sustain that heat and that fuel that can then fuel those larger fires to happen.
Yeah, throw some wind on top of that, and I would imagine,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that's really going to be an issue. So some of the farmers, they're going to be able to get some of this irrigation right now. I'm just curious, anything else for the drought emergencies, but is that the main thing that this helps with right now?
That's the main thing that it really does help. It does let
Yeah.
everybody know as you're hearing about, oh, we've already declared drought, that awareness of
Right.
normally I go out and burn my fields or I do this and I don't worry about having water on hand or on site right there because our during the evening, the relative humidities come up. But I better pay more attention to what the wind's doing, what those are doing. I think another concern will be for us tourism. And a lot of people come out and like to go camping, have campfires and that type of stuff. But I have a feeling if we continue doing what we're doing, those fire restrictions are going to be put in place to where they won't be able to do that.
Yeah, it seems like that's happening more and more earlier and earlier across the entire
Mm-hmm.
state with those. Even over here on the west side, fire bans were in effect really early last year, and rightfully so. To protect everything. But it's definitely going to be interesting. So, anything else that you think is important, just for the general public to know, about Baker County and some of the things that you all are dealing with out there when it comes to this?
Boy.
It doesn't
I
have to be
wish,
anything, but sorry, that kind of
yeah,
threw that
I
to you.
wish
But
there was something that was there. It's like, hey, great. I mean, I think a lot of our producers do a lot of smart watering as far as, not wasting water and that type of stuff. It will be interesting to see as the producers come down to it, what the growing season is going to be like, because with the Forest Service and BLM allotments for our cattle, they're going to have to probably move them more. Hay's going to not grow without water either. So
right.
the future as we're coming up might be some hay shortages or something like that coming on. But yeah, so I just want people that visit the area to take precautions, enjoy it, but make sure like if you're towing a trailer that your chains are up, they're not dragging. That was actually last week. I went out on a small little fire and a car went behind us and I could hear the chains dragging. I tried to wave them down and that type of stuff, but just use as much precaution as you possibly can out there.
Yeah, we spoke to the Oregon State Fire Marshal's office just yesterday or the day before, I can't remember which, but just about that, about human-caused fires, trying to minimize those statewide and just as much as possible, take that out of it. Well, Jason, thank you, for having time to talk to us. I know we just hit you up with this request, and then you were able to jump right on, so I really appreciate that. But yeah, just important, I think, information for everybody to know about what's going on, about what this means, and it's only March. We're not even, tomorrow's April, so we're not even to April yet, and this is what we're seeing all over the place. So certainly a sign of what's to come. But Jason, thank you for joining us. Really, really appreciate it.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
You bet. And for everybody watching too, this is Fox 12 Now. We're live streaming here. We'll be back in just a bit. If you're watching live, you'll see the programming switch for a minute, and then I'll be back around 2:30 talking about the 8 Seconds Rodeo, which is back for, I think it's 4th year. We're going to be discussing that with the founder, and we cover a wide range of topics here, so stick around. We'll talk to you soon. I'm Greg Nibbler. This is Fox 12 Now.